Today we'll be making the Luna Light pendant. On a comfortable piece of FireLine, pick up 10 11-0 seed beads and 10 tilas in an alternating pattern. You're going to make a circle by tying a double knot, leaving a 6-inch tail. And after you make your circle, you're going to sew down through all the beads to reinforce. And once you've reinforced, you're going to sew down through your 11-0 seed bead and your next tila to get away from your knot. You'll come out between the tila and seed bead, and you'll sew up through the second hole of the tila. Now you'll pick up 2 seed beads and you'll sew through the second hole of your next tila. Pick up 2 seed beads and sew through the second hole of the next tila. Pick up 2 seed beads and sew through the second hole of the next tila. You're going to do this step all the way around your circle. After you've added your 2 seed beads all the way around the circle, you're going to sew through to your next tila, coming out between the tila and the seed bead. Now we'll pick up 3 seed beads and you're going to sew through the second hole going in the same direction of that tila. You'll do this step all the way around the circle. Sew through the next 2 seed beads and the next tila. Pick up 3 seed beads. Sew back through the second hole going in the same direction of the tila. Sew through the next 2 seed beads and the next tila. Pick up 3 seed beads. Sew through that second hole of the same tila going in the same direction. continue this step all the way around your circle. After you've finished adding your 3 seed beads, you're going to sew up through the 3 seed beads, and you're going to pick up a tila and you're going to attach it to the 3 seed beads by sewing up through the 3 seed beads, and you're going to go in the same direction, and you're going to reinforce each one as you go along. And now you're ready to move on to your next seed beads. You're going to sew down through the second hole of the tila in the first ring, down through the 2 seed beads in between and the next tila, coming out between the tila and the seed beads, you're going to sew up through the 3 seed beads on top of the tilas, pick up your tila, sew up through the 3 seed beads going in the same direction, and you'll reinforce by sewing down through the tila, back up through the 3 seed beads, and then back down through the second hole of the tila in the ring. Sew down through the 2 seed beads and the next tila in the ring, coming out between the seed bead and tila. Sew up through the 3 seed beads, picking up a tila, sew back up through the 3 seed beads going in the same direction, reinforce by sewing through the tila, and the 3 seed beads, sew down through the second hole of the tila in the ring, sew down through the 2 seed beads and the next tila, coming out between the tila and a seed bead, And you'll continue this step all the way around your circle. After you're done adding your second row of tilas, you'll come out your 3 seed beads and you'll sew down through the first hole of your tila. And now you'll sew back up through the second hole of the same tila. You'll pick up a seed bead and you'll place a seed bead in between each tila around the circle. You'll sew through that second hole, pick up a seed bead, and go to the next tila. Pick up a seed bead, sew through the second hole of the next tila in the circle. And you'll do this all the way around your circle. After you've completed this step, you're going to want to take your Luna and place it in the center, turning it over. Now you'll gently pull your thread so it tightens up around your Luna. Once you get it nice and tight, you're going to need to reinforce by sewing back through all the beads. After you've reinforced, you're going to tie a double knot. This keeps it from slipping. You'll just sew under your thread. You'll sew through the loop. And you've got one knot. You'll repeat that. Sew under your thread. Sew through your loop. And now you're going to sew away from your knot. Sew down through your seed beads and your tilas. Now you'll be ready to add on your drop. So you need to get into position. You're going to come out the first hole of the tila. So now you need to come up through the second hole. And then you'll sew through the 3 seed beads. Now you'll pick up 3 seed beads, your drop, and 3 more seed beads. And you'll sew up through the same 3 seed beads going in the same direction. And you'll need to reinforce this several times. After you're done reinforcing, you're going to sew back through your tila, and then you'll put in a double knot by sewing up under your thread. Sew through the loop, and repeat that step. Sew up under your thread, sew through the loop, and now you've got your double knot. Now you're going to need to sew through your seed beads the back row, the inner circle, so that you can get up to the top of your pendant so we can put in a bail. So you're going to sew to this tila. It's directly across from the one where you put your pendant. Just sew around through all your beads until you reach that spot. Now that you've come to the top of your pendant, I'll show you how to make a little bail. You're going to come out that first hole, so you're going to go over to the second hole of that tila, sew through that, and then sew down through the 3 seed beads on the side. And now you'll pick up 5 seed beads, and then I used a 5mm crystal. Sew up through your crystal, and pick up 7 seed beads, and now you'll sew back down through the crystal, and then you'll pick up 5 more seed beads, and you'll sew back through the 3 seed beads on the side going in the same direction. and you'll need to reinforce at least 3 more times to make sure that your bail is nice and secure. After you've reinforced your bail, you're going to sew down through your seed beads. And you'll sew down through the back so that you can put in a double knot. You'll sew up under your thread, sew through your loop, and you'll repeat that. Sew up under your thread, through your loop. Now you've got a double knot. And you're going to sew down through some beads to get away from your knot. Then you'll place a single knot by sewing up under your thread. So through your loop. And you've got your single knot. Now you'll sew down through some more seed beads and tila beads to get away from your knot. And you'll cut your excess thread off. And you'll do the same with your tail. You'll sew it down through your beads to get to the back. Then you'll put in a double knot, sew down through, single knot, sew down through, and cut off your excess thread. Now I'll show you what to do with your tail. You're going to need to bring it back to the back side of your pendant. So you'll sew through the second hole of your tila. Sew through your 3 seed beads. Sew down through your tila. And sew up under your thread. Sew through your loop. And you'll repeat that again. Sew up under your thread, through your loop. And you'll sew down through your beads, getting away from your knot. Sew up under your thread. And you're going to sew through your loop. And you'll sew down through some more of your seed beads. And now you'll cut off your excess thread. And you're finished. And this completes the Luna Light. Now I'll show you how to add on thread. You're going to cut a new piece of FireLine, and you're going to take your project thread, place the two pieces together. You're going to form a loop, feed both pieces through the loop, making a knot. You'll separate the threads. You'll pick up 2 pairs of pliers. This will help you grasp your thread easier. And you'll pull until your knot reaches your project. Now you'll have 2 tails, and what you'll need to do is take your tail and you'll put on your needle, and you'll feed your tail through some of your beads. You want to get away from your knot. Now you'll sew up under your thread. You're going to place a knot. And you'll repeat that step. Sew up under your thread. Form a loop, sew through the loop. And then you'll sew down through some more of your beads away from your knot. And put in a single knot, sew up under your thread, sew through your loop. You'll feed down through your seed beads and your tila beads to get away from your knot. And then you'll be ready to cut the excess thread off. Then you'll do the same with your other tail. Feed it through, double knot, feed it through, single knot, feed it through and cut it off. And now you have your new thread.